My name is Christian Basil. Years ago, I had an idea. I got myself a TARDIS. Took it to new places, met a lot of new people, took some great pictures, and talked Doctor Who. From Krypton Radio and the creators of the Hanging With web show, this is the legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Join me on my latest adventures and become part of the legend. Hello, fellow Whovians, and welcome back to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil. I am the host of this show, and today we are exploring an idea that you guys get involved with. And this was something I was just kicking around as just a bit of an idea of, if you got the chance to sit down with now Bad Wolf Productions and now with Russell T. Davies, who is now the showrunner of Doctor Who, and got to sit there now, also Sony's involved too. If you had one wish for how the 14th Doctor and the entire series moving forward to give to Russell T, and he had to execute it, what would that wish be? I've been kicking around that idea, but today we're going to be exploring it even more. Don't forget to check out our classic episodes, especially on the YouTube channel, when we discuss the return of Russell T Davies, signing on the coming on in the 14th Doctor, and signing on for the 60th anniversary special and beyond. So don't forget to check that out as well. So welcome there, folks. My name is Christian Basil, and welcome to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Let me unmute my friends, because we got a special show tonight. Today we are going to be discussing our one wish, with the exception of Dave, who couldn't make it to the night show. He had 4 of them. Yeah, boo on Dave. So, but I hope he's doing okay out there. And let me go ahead and just introduce the panel tonight. And I went to 3 conventions.
I'm hearing a truck backing up.
Backing up.
That was me. I'm so sorry.
No.
I'm like,
I only make that noise when I'm hungry.
Oh.
It's an alarm.
There's other noises I make. But anyway, that's a safe bet there. But no, I was just like, you don't know how it is. I got the window right next to me, and there was one night there was a storm out. Scared the heck out of me. And because there's a plant outside, doesn't bother us, doesn't make any noise or anything, except for when there's like 30-mile-per-hour wind, and all you hear is. And I was like, oh my God, I was working, I was freaking out. And I was just like, God, no. And so I don't want that to happen on the show.
Remember the one night there was a squall line that went through Central Florida?
Yes.
Everything from the Tampa Bay all the way down into Orlando. And it lightning clapped, and you could hear it over my mic.
It's almost like God took a mop and put it in the bucket and filled it up and just went over Florida and went, get it all wet.
Florida.
Yeah.
That is Florida. Yeah. Well, what now? Yeah, what was it? What is it? A week now? I remember.
Oh, that we've had winter?
Yes. There's that meme that goes around the TV stations and then go like, and it says, it's a T-shirt that says, I survived the winter of Florida, January 28th to February 1st or something like that. So
falling iguanas. That's
all.
Yeah, falling iguanas.
And I hate
and
that
turtles that are getting cold stunned.
Just in case for our foreigners and our friends who don't understand what that means.
They'll be fine.
Apparently, I didn't know this until it just got, and then it went viral on Facebook. Apparently, at a certain temperature, iguanas freeze up. They don't die. They just freeze up. But the problem is they don't hang on to what they're freezed up on.
And they'll fall out of a tree and onto you.
They'll fall out of a tree.
They're not small. But that's usually like
squirrels too.
Oh, really? I didn't think about that with squirrels.
I know someone whose back windshield got busted, and she thought it was a rock, but it was a squirrel that had fallen out of a tree.
Oh my goodness, little baby! But at least like with the iguanas here, it's more Miami. It's really more Miami, Naples, that really southern part of that. You're going to see a lot more of the iguanas. So usually that doesn't happen, but yeah, definitely I-4 and south. But the iguanas, they'll kind of have their own little freezing up, and they'll just fall out. They become catatonic.
It
should be an episode of Doctor Who.
Right?
Add that as a wish plus one.
That's going to be another enemy. We've got the sea devils coming up, so I don't know. Maybe they'll have falling iguanas out of tree. I have no idea.
Get them cold. Get them nice and frosty.
Florida. See an iguana outside and he's begging, take him in. Just bring him up. No, don't.
If you're cold, they're cold.
If you're cold, they're cold. Exactly. Anyway, let's get back. We got we're a Doctor Who podcast over there. And then again, folks, welcome there for you just joining us. Have your wishes ready on standby. You can see the chats are loading up right now. If you had one wish for RTD, Sony, and Bad Wolf. Hey, Michael McDade, we should have more iguanas in there.
Yeah.
Yep, there it is.
Now I'm thinking of Vastra.
Now if they have iguanas, we'll know they watch this show.
That's how Jenny and Vastra met. She was sleeping in a tree. Never mind. I'm not going to go there. Never mind. I'm not going there. That's
a tree. Yeah. Bonked her on the head.
I'm never mind. I can't. Anyway, let me go ahead and introduce the team, and let me go ahead with Kevo Risse from Husbands Talking More or Less podcast. Check him out.
Hello.
Out there. You can Google it, look it up anywhere. But how you doing there, Kevo?
Good. How y'all doing?
Not bad. What is that going on in the background? I see the TARDIS, but what is that a blanket?
Yeah.
Jelly?
I know. They're super cute and comfy.
TARDIS bigger on the inside. They need a blanket like that out there. Awesome there. Welcome. Make sure again, and if you want to use his services, I implore you. He makes some of the best. No, not some of the best. What am I saying?
The best. The
best. I'm sorry. They use that terminology and you kind of just insert it out there. He makes the best.
I hope there are people better than me out there.
No. It's not only that, but for our show, I just basically say, Kevo, here's the next episode, and here's what's going on, and then 5 minutes, practically what I consider like a Hollywood 5 minutes later, he's got the thumbnail out. Mark, don't even start with your hashtags.
Okay, let's get it going.
We finally have a mascot. Yeah, outside the TARDIS, we have a mascot. We have a little.
I'm going to be taking them around the MegaCon this year. Speaking of MegaCon, I have no idea, so I can't transition. Melanie, how you doing?
What the heck? The master of segues, I swear to God.
I know, I'm the master of segues.
Hello, everybody. Yes, we're getting ready for MegaCon. I think that's actually the one that's going to really kick off convention season for the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Maybe. Actually, we've already kind of started. You've already done Central Florida Comic Con. What other Comic Cons have we done?
There was Jessica and her hubby were at. Jessica was at Central Florida Comic Con. Yes. I managed to go to VillaCon the weekend after, and just by chance, I went to, and I went as a guest. I went to Orlando Toy and Comic Con, which was this past weekend, and I treated myself to something, and we will be announcing. I'll be doing a show and tell in just a moment about there, but I didn't realize it has something significant going on about this day today. And I'll explain much in a little bit later. But first, I see the chats are exploding. Let's go ahead.
Chats in both YouTube and in Facebook. So I'm trying to make sure that I get everybody, up there.
Go ahead, load them up there, Melanie. Let's see who we got today.
Okay, well, first one, I'm just going to do you want to start with wishes, or do you just want to say with general?
We'll hold the wishes.
We'll start with.
When we get back to commercial, we'll go with the wishes. Boo on
That's for.
Well, you know what? He called in sick. Let's just say it that way. He at least called in sick. There's some people who just, when you work in that, they just don't show up, and hey, just give me a warning out there. Yeah, the year of the tiger, Ramona. The year of the tiger.
Meanwhile, Tom
is that today? That's the Chinese New Year's today.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
Lunar New Year. Yeah.
I thought it was yesterday for some odd reason. I am the tiger. Hello, Tom. Hello, Carl. Melanie's back. Yep.
I know. Weird, right?
That's all he cares about is Melanie coming back. That's all he cares.
Yay! Well, I came back last week.
I'd wiped the cobwebs from my eyes. Wait, what's that? Lita Ford wished?
Oh, good Lord.
Okay.
People.
Never mind. That TARDIS blanket is so soft. I have two of them. You would.
Yeah.
You would.
Real nice.
How big is that? Is that like an entire bed, or is that like?
It's like actual TARDIS size.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. It's like the whole bed length.
Deal.
But it's not very long then. So.
Speaking of which, I'm taking super chats, and if anybody's got $3,000 out there, we'll have an actual full-scale traveling TARDIS. I'm serious. I've been offered a TARDIS for $3,000.
Where are you gonna put it?
What's that?
Where are you gonna put it?
I'll make it happen. There's a garage. It will happen. It's actually one that collapses. It's like IKEA TARDIS. And yeah, it will collapse.
Oh, well, that's.
Let's just say it was used originally for conventions.
Oh, so it actually is a traveling TARDIS.
It is a traveling TARDIS. However, the person who, and they've already made the announcement, but the person who's offering it to me, they're trying to recoup from their convention. So he's trying to get, fair enough. That's fine. But just like, right now. I don't have that kind of money just lying around out here trying to keep this show going. Now, the full size TARDIS Blanky, nice. Thanks, Andrew, for joining us tonight out there. And don't forget, post your wishes. We're going to be going into the chat mode in just a little bit. We'll get to your wishes. Mel, what chocolate are you eating today? Oh my God.
Probably going to be another Curly Whirly. It was the one I could get to right now.
Let's see here. Let's go. Yeah.
I'm not a Curly Whirly. Oh, you guys don't want to hear that. Sorry. Yeah, I'm going to go with another Curly Whirly tonight.
No, that was nice. It was ASMR.
Mark, seriously, can you send me some, dude? I'll do some sampling out here.
We're gonna do an Easter basket thing back and forth. Remember?
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm gonna send Mark some Easter candy, and he can send me some Easter candy.
Good night.
Yes. Or you, I don't know. You can get you.
I just want to sample some, and more than just off the public shelf in the tight little British section, which is now this big. Which is just jelly babies, digestives, and a couple other things that you found out there. And they have
gotta mind your teeth with this thing.
What's that?
Crunchy.
Oh, good God.
I mean, that thing is.
Oh my God! What does that taste like?
It's crunchy. That's It's
not what it feels like. What does it taste like? I mean, what would you equate that closest to?
Think if you took a Snickers nougat. And I'm going very American here, y'all. So take a Snickers unit and a nougat of a Snickers, and imagine that you take that and you freeze dried it, like almost like an astronaut ice cream kind of thing. Like you sucked all of the moisture out of it, and then you got this sound. So once it hits you break a piece off and put it in your mouth, it's gonna just dissolve, and it's really tasty. So and it's wrapped and it's covered in chocolate. So
it's astronaut ice cream.
Really kind of, but like I said, it's kind of. You could put some nails in with this.
Ice cream.
See, that's part of the problem. British candy, it sounds like, requires patience. You have to wait for it to dissolve in your mouth. Americans can't do that. We need to be able to chomp.
Yeah, right? That's why I really dig the Curly Whirly.
If you've ever been to Epcot, and I always go there and get like a thing, I get like $10 worth of candy or $15 worth of candy and stuff like that. Individually wrapped candy. Individually wrapped. I mean, some of the stuff I'm just like, when you get into American, I'll
into this one next.
What is it? Those flavor, the ones that are round and they have different colors. I can't even think of it. Flavor Saver or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? It's just like a round candy. It looks like one of those.
Are you talking UK or American?
No, American. I don't even see those anymore.
Lifesavers?
Lifesavers, yeah, Lifesavers, where they're just round and stuff like that. But they're individually wrapped. Speaking of individually,
Ramona says send a wake up call down to the raffle. And
okay,
apparently it's working. Oh.
It's working. There we go. Speaking of individually wrapped, there is the Dave Chapman from the rathole.ca. How you doing there, Dave? Thanks for coming on tonight.
No problem.
He's not here. Go away.
It's been okay. Bye, all.
You missed the first 15 minutes. You missed all the candy. Oh my God! You did take them off.
You missed the candy and the iguanas.
I didn't do it. He did that himself.
I did. Oh.
And then I tried to put myself in. You take me out.
Now I'm just getting all the anti-Dave, the Dave snack. I'm just
now's a good time for a commercial break. When we get back, we're gonna go with your wishes and your chats. When we return, please continue to stay logged on, tuned in, and become part of the legend. There are so many videos I put on here. It's not even funny. Hang on a second. Here
Hey there, this is Meredith Loughran with Ragin', and I wanted to let you know that we encourage and promote independent creators and their projects through organic interaction, consultations, and more. Visit Nita and me at RaginAVC.com for details and contact information. Hit the button.
Jackie Sonnenberg's My Soul to Keep is a ghost story rooted in the realities of actual cults. When 13-year-old Sky Monroe arrives at her new boarding school, all she can think about is death and connecting with the afterlife. Soon she discovers her school's spirituality group, the Guardians of Light, and they have a secret. They can speak with the dead, and the organization is a cult. But this isn't Sky's only problem. The campus house where Sky resides is haunted, and even the ghosts have an agenda. They intend on getting the souls they want. Filled with mystery and intrigue plucked straight from the headlines, author Jackie Sonnenberg's research and attention to detail give this ghost story an even more eerie atmosphere. Find My Soul to Keep on Amazon.com today.
Meet the Doctor.
I'm the Doctor.
But not the one you were expecting.
All right, sexy. It's time to go home.
Doctor Who Velocity. Streaming now.
And you know what's so cool about Doctor Who Velocity? They just released their 7th episode just a couple of days ago called The Silence, starring Crystal Moore as, and I will argue to this day, the first female Doctor before Jodie, because she did premiere before Jodie came out there. So, check out Doctor Who Velocity and tell them the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS sent you. She has a new episode out called The Silence, and guess who's the bad guy in that episode? So check it out. Please tell them the Legend of the TARDIS sent you. And Dave, welcome to the rathole.ca. Thank you for joining us there, Dave. Today, if you don't know already, or you're just joining us, we're just going over our one wish for a meeting with Russell T. Davies. That means anything that does come to mind. You have one wish, whatever it could be, moving forward with the 14th Doctor and the new series coming up as we enter the 60th anniversary episode and beyond with Sony Productions and Bad Wolf. So let's go ahead and get with that. And you know what? Random. Roll the dice. Kevo.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your wish. What would you tell Russell T?
Well, it's hard to pick one thing. We all love the show so much. We all have so many ideas and thoughts. As I explained it to you, my broad wish for what I would love to see more of on the show is more diversity of companion. Obviously, bleeding heart like me, I would love more racial, sexual diversity. I'd love to see more aliens, more robots. But what I really more specifically mean is I would love to see more companions from different time periods. I feel like I've felt this way since I first became a Whovian, like back in 2007. So many of the companions are modern day companions, and I get that was originally intended as like an audience vehicle of we see the Doctor through the companion, so we relate to them through the companion. But I feel like television production has come so far that you don't need to rely on that as much anymore, and I really would love to see even characters just from the 90s. That's history now. A character who's from the 70s. That's so much further back in history from now than it was when the show started. And I think that is something that the show needs to explore more as a time travel show.
Right.
Give us characters who haven't experienced all of the last 50 years that the rest of the world has and see how they react to time travel and aliens. Because I think that those are unique stories to be able to tell now at this point in time.
And I think I would even go more into, I would even dive deeper what you want. I would say classic companions. What are they doing?
Yeah.
If we want a more diverse group, I mean, because we've seen them pop up, but what is Tegan doing? What is Nyssa doing? I mean, there is so much. And I mentioned this is one of the criticisms that I have for our current showrunners, just like there's so much good stuff that was sitting in the past. Let's bring it back up. Let's unearth it and see what we could do to mix it up and have some fun with it. Seriously, I think that. And sorry, I just got a message.
But like even old companions' descendants, or like Luke and characters from Sarah Jane, just like stuff like that for sure.
And Mr. Pagan comes up. By the way, congratulations! I believe it's the birth of your grandchild, if I'm not mistaken. Ooh. So. Congratulations there, sir. Bringing in a new Whovian into the world. Congrats. Ludus says, bring back writers who understand science fiction, how to do proper social justice stories without hitting the audience overhead this so much as overshadow the story. I think good sci-fi to me is if you are going to have a moral, if you're going to have a philosophy, it's wrapped up in a great story that people don't even realize that they have been learning a lesson this whole time, but you've been entertained the whole time. And this is just my opinion on that. That even the classic Who, when I mean classic Who, I mean like during the Matt Smith and David Tennant and Capaldi eras, you've been talking about the episodes for weeks on end. I mean, it just didn't just go away overnight. You will be talking about it. It's like, do you remember what happened during that episode? Here's a real wish, casting a non-white actor as the lead, Michael McDade. Okay.
I'm thinking you're going to see that little by little. I mean, we got a woman, so
yeah.
I think now you're going to be more open to seeing more inclusive casting.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Well, thank you there, Kevo. Dave, you are up next. I said one wish.
I gave you 3.
And you know what?
I mean, I gave you 3 because I was coming in last minute, not sure what other people were selecting. So
you know what? I will bring up. As funny as it sounds, I'm going to go ahead because I think you have a lot to bring to the table over here. When I was reading, I was going like, okay, one wish, dude, and then I was like, you know what? I'll entertain it. So, Dave, what is your one wish for Russell T and Sony Productions and Bad Wolf? What would you tell them?
One, I only wanted to see the Cybermen or the Daleks if there's an actual compelling story there. Every time I deal with the Daleks, it's like, oh god, not again. Yeah. Not that I don't love the Daleks, but especially as a gamer, every game seems to be Dalek themed more than Doctor themed.
But as Kevin said, we have a treasure trove of villains.
Yes,
just sitting in a storage room collecting dust. It's more than just 5 villains from Classic Who.
Exactly,
and it's more than Daleks and Cybermen. And I know they have to use the Cybermen the Daleks because of the contractual agreement with the Nation, with the Nation Foundation, with those folks. Yeah, but yeah, what about the others? You know, give them a chance to shine some light out there. So. Reduce the Cybermen and the Daleks. What else would you bring to the table?
I'd love to see Sasha's master come back. Specifically his, because I mean, he's been such a great, insane version of the character. And his story is nowhere near done, obviously. So I think we will probably see his return, and which would counter my... Well, now I got to bring the Cybermen back because we got Cyber Time Lords now.
Which, I'm sorry, they do absolutely nothing but sit there and stand there. They're supposed to be the most horrific villain in the universe.
And they were so
just
cool.
Sitting there.
Yeah.
The whole time, I'm like, they didn't even get up once to do anything but march. I'm like, oh, you're kidding me, right? So I'm just like, okay, what not? But yeah, I would love to see Sasha. And this is, again, not against anything for Sasha, but first of all, I think he's doing a series on his own, and I started watching it. What was the series called again? What's he doing?
I don't know.
He's on The Great.
The Great.
Yeah.
He is awesome in that.
That whole show.
The whole show is great, and I don't know if he'll have time to come back, so I don't mind giving him a year or two. But I would also say the Rani, Romana, Omega.
Yeah,
all these characters. What the heck are they been doing since the Time War? So I'm big on that to bring back Sasha. But I think he's also doing the great, and he's doing, to pun intended, he's doing great on that show. But I don't mind give him a year or two to bring back, or you know what, Sasha can bring back the Rani.
Yeah,
you always
that was not. I very specifically did not put that in my wishes. But that being said, I quite literally yesterday was watching the Mark of the Rani.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm working my way. That's what I'm working on right now. Is working my way through that Doctor. So because I'm working on that particular source book as a review. So yeah, that's just happened to be the episode. I'm like, we really, and we've mentioned it umpteen times. We really need to have the Rani back. What happened to the Rani?
It's really Christian.
Okay, fine, Chris. Well,
maybe you don't want her back.
I've never seen an episode with her.
Oh my God,
one episode.
I got
no, there's been more than one.
Yeah, there's 2 actually.
Yeah, there's 2 exactly.
Oops! I was 50. I was half wrong.
With 2 different doctors.
And Kevo, I must apologize for the second one because the first one is very good, and the second one's like, are you kidding me?
Which is the one where she looks like one of the designing women with the red suit and the giant belt.
Yeah, well, she it's played by Katie O'Mara.
I'm not complaining. I love it, but that's what she looks like.
I don't know if that's an awesome description.
I don't know if you are familiar with 80s classic TV, but she was in Dynasty. And the rumor has it is that somebody, the guy, who is it? Aaron Spelling was watching an episode of Doctor Who that night, trying to figure out who to cast for this particular new character, and he saw Mark of the Ronnie, and he said, "I got to bring Katie O'Mara over here." So there you go, and the rest is history. I don't know if that's completely true, but that's the history that I found out, and she was in Dallas, so Dynasty. So, and Dave, I will allow this other one. Go for it. What's the next one you're coming up with?
A return of the Paternoster gang. And what would be really nice, or at least very interesting, would be a kind of weird doctorless episode where we get the Paternoster gang, who 2 out of 3 have a very long lifespan, running into Yaz and Dan and Jericho.
That would be interesting.
That would be interesting. They were all over the place. There was a fair number of years there. We'd lose one of the Paternosters, but that would be really, really good. And I'd love to see the Silurians in general, which we're sort of getting with the next special, right, with the Sea Devils, which are considered part of the Silurian race, just a slightly different one.
Yeah, Carl, when that statement that Carl made, he said she was supposed to be impersonating Mel, and nothing against Katie, not really doing that good of an impersonation on Mel. But that was the Sylvester McCoy episode. That was actually the introduction of the 7th Doctor. I just put that picture up there because this is them out of their makeup and out of their costumes. I thought they're just gorgeous together out there. But I would go even further, Dave. I would say they need, how back when Doctor Who was getting Sarah Jane Smith and Torchwood and K9 adventure, the K9 spin-off. Yep. I would say these 3, and I agree with everybody who supports this. These 3 need to have their own spin-off.
Definitely.
I would definitely support. And then you could probably bring these guys in. There you go, Andrew. So a spin-off with Dan, Yaz, and Jericho with the Pastranato game seems like a great idea. In fact, what was it? Jago and Lightfoot.
Yep.
Jago and Lightfoot were a part of that in the Big Finish audios. So you could just deal with having some fun with that, and
they have had the Paternoster gang does have some Big Finishes as well.
Yes.
So there's no way that the Dan and Yaz and Jericho years are not going to get a Big Finish. It's just a matter of time.
Exactly. I would not be surprised out there. Funny. Melanie, if you want, before we hit the commercial break, let's go ahead and hit a few chats. Let's see some wishes out there.
I'll start from this.
Oh, Janine, hello. When Amy Pond is in the Beast Below, when she realizes the whale is old and helpful because the Doctor is old and helpful, and the last of their kind, right in front of our faces, but kind of hidden too. Okay, I got you. Actually, 3 episodes with Irani. Well, do you consider Dimensions in Time an episode? It's really a pill hard to swallow. It just goes wicked. And for those of you who don't know what Dimensions in Time is, there was I think it was for Red Nose Day, if I'm not mistaken. They had recorded, it was at John Nathan Turner wrote an episode called Dimensions in Time. For whatever reason, they decided to mix Doctor Who with, I think, is it EastEnders?
That or Coronation Street.
That or Coronation Street. One of the two. Basically, they were trying to explain how we see all these doctors with different companions. I thought it was a cool concept because they actually introduced the idea of having different doctors with different companions. So Ace would be with the 6th Doctor, and the 3rd Doctor would be with Victoria. And of course, Tom Baker made an appearance. Didn't really do much of anything there. The 5th Doctor was, they had a mixture of stuff, which I kind of see that Big Finish has been pulling into. What if they kind of mixed up the companions and such out there? More Tom Baker, the Carrier. Yeah, of course, there. That's the wish.
I'm stealing that wish.
I'm surprised.
I know, right? I actually decided to not be on brand and say, that's my wish.
What's up?
Yeah, bring the last one you had up there of Ramona's. I'll bring it up. There. So this is an interesting because we did speak, and Ramona, maybe you didn't see these episodes. We talked to Sophie Aldred when she wrote her book
At childhood end.
Yep. And
Childhood's end.
Childhood's end.
You almost got it right for once. She took, because Ace has all of these unofficial histories that went forward, and she took all of those and managed to tie them up in a nice, neat little bow in that book.
Yeah.
And so there is some that's not canon, but she did appear in an ad, and which spun off from the Sarah Jane Adventures, which this book also spun off from. So there is a sort of canon what her history is. That wasn't it, but it does get brought in, and you should go back, watch those episodes with us, because we're awesome, and Sophie's awesome, and really honestly, go get her book, because it was absolutely mind-blowing.
Get the audiobook.
Yes.
Oh my god, the fact that she can do a real the 13th Doctor, she can do a Jodie. That's incredible.
Good for her.
Yeah.
But the one that completely just blew my mind was her doing Sylvester McCoy's voice, because she got his extreme, and she speaks on his accent being extremely specific, because it's the Scottish by way of Ireland, raised in France.
And Kevo, this was actually, we were joking about, because this is kind of like the first ideology when it comes to a childhood's end of a multiverse, because there were all these stories written about Ace that went into complete different directions. She became a Time Lord. She stayed at home. So this story actually kind of answers that question on how these multiverses of Ace exist and continue on, and wrapped up in a 13th Doctor story with the 7th Doctor kind of hinting in there every now and then. But yeah, the scariest part about it is she can spot on 13's voice. So if Jodie decides not to do Big Finish, hey, Christina, I love the personality game, but can we revisit Susan Foreman?
Please. I mean, we had a photo of her in a 12th run.
Yeah, we did.
She's still around.
Well, let's go ahead and go to a commercial break. When we return, we're going to reveal Melanie and my thoughts on what our wish would be for going forward with the 14th Doctor and the new series. When we return, please continue to stay logged on, tuned in, and become part of the legend. Here we go.
Oh, brilliant! It's hard to believe that in the 56-year history of the greatest sci-fi television show in the English language, there has never been a fan guide to Doctor Who. The official books might give you what they think you need to know, but only a guide written by a true fan will give you what you really want to know. Join Whovian, the brilliant Mackenzie Flaw, as she takes you on an intensive journey inside the world of the first female Doctor. In the Binge Watcher's Guide to Doctor Who, Season 11. Right, let's get a shift on.
This is Cosplay Michael with the Hanging Out Club Show. I want to tell you about my friends at Embellis Effects in Orlando, Florida. They've got makeup, costumes, and props for all of your costume needs. And the team at Embellis Effects is helpful and friendly. Embellis Effects is one of my favorite places, and I know it will be yours too. I'll see you there. Or go to embelliseffects.com. And remember, cosplay is for everyone.
The massive audio Doctor Who Bad Wolf Bluetooth TARDIS speaker. That's all I gotta say, one word. Wow. It looks like it just jumped right off the screen. Here it is in all its Bad Wolf glory. Right here is the on-off switch and the up and down volume. Right here's the speaker. The TARDIS stands about 6 inches from the bottom of the TARDIS all the way up to the top where the light is. Look at the detail. Wow.
Because of that little scrolling at the bottom out there, just in case you didn't catch it, it's Amazon.com/FameTek. Again, Amazon.com/FameTek. They not only have the Bluetooth speaker, but they have the Weeping Angels phone charger, and many more. So, and don't forget to tell them the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS sent you. Welcome back. My name is Christian Basil. I'm the host of the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Today we are discussing our one wish for Russell T Davies and Sony Productions. I guess what Sony Television.
Your mic went weird.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear you. Anything you had said.
Something Sony Productions.
Something. I don't know if it was your microphone or.
Is everything okay now? Or is
just the fact that you were kind of cutting off the way you were talking.
Okay.
I don't know.
Is it Sony TV Productions? But it's Bad Wolf Productions. But is it Sony Television? Okay, cool.
Probably Sony Television.
You have it out there.
Just say Sony.
Sony. We'll do Sony. That will.
It's like saying Disney. We get
exactly.
what you're
exactly.
With
we don't think you mean Sony Bono.
Yes.
I tried to get the specifics correctly because when people, when you're working at Disney and somebody comes up to you and goes, I'm trying to find Disney World. I'm just like, you're in it.
They're talking Magic Kingdom.
They're always talking the Magic. Well, you got to be careful too, because I've had to get the specifics because somebody asked me for where Jaws was.
Oh, well,
where's the Hulk ride? I hear that all the time.
Exactly. I'm just like, not here. Are you sure?
Someone lied to you.
Yes. I've seen every building in this place. I can tell you, unless they've moved something overnight that I didn't catch, it's not here.
Sorry, it's the one with Hogwarts.
Exactly.
And the Marvel rides.
And the Marvel rides.
Probably enough.
Well, technically, Disney's supposed to get Marvel. I'll never understand that relationship, but they're getting.
There's many a YouTube channel about that exact topic and what east and west of the Mississippi means in that contract.
Exactly.
It already appears if it already appeared in Universal Studios, they can't touch it.
Oh wow!
Simple as that.
Speaking of
east
which,
of the Mississippi.
We are talking about our one wish. So, Melanie, you're up at bat. What is your one wish for Russell T and the folks at Sony?
My crazy, absolutely out there wish is that they know how to blend classic and new. And that when I say new, I mean I would like new monsters. I love the idea of new monsters. I love the idea of new aliens, new villains, new everything. But I also like classic. And I like callbacks. And you can do things, believe it or not, without them being fan servicey. And I say fan servicey with big old asterisk or quotation marks on it because some people, nobody can gatekeep a fandom, then they're fans.
Right.
Look at hi Star Wars fan. We Doctor Who fans can do the same thing, but in using, I'm going to try to be non-spoilery, but within the Star Wars fandom, I'm going to point out that you can be overly, gatekeeping or not fan servicey when you think of how, like the sequel trilogy of movies, how people were saying, oh, well, if they tossed in this or tossed in that, they're just being fan servicey. But you look at what the products that Filoni and Favreau are doing, and that you could toss out the Easter eggs, you could toss out the callbacks, and not be crazy fan servicey, but you can still start tying everything together and being really well done when you know how to write. And I'm hoping that RTD, because he can know how to write and he knows how to tell a good story, that he can do those two things of giving, blending in some of the old classic kind of things and inserting new stuff. Because you have time travel. You should be able, you have the TARDIS, you have the idea of Time Lords and time travel. It should not be as hard as trying to go, all right, we have a linear canon, a linear timeline with a linear canon, and we're going to try keep inserting and making new things that still connect the dots. You literally have a time machine, and the idea, you can play with the idea of paradoxes and fixing them, and Futurama can do it. Come on, guys, you can too.
I wouldn't. First of all, that term, it's not to come out on offensive. It's just I don't know what's wrong with fan service. Sometimes with that.
I know. I have no
service. Please.
And that's the thing is, when I say fan service, I mean it's the
cloyingly.
When I say it, it's
too much.
It's the people who are the gatekeeper people who are saying, "Oh, this is just fan service." And I'm just sitting here going, "No, this is why I'm a great. Give me your content."
I take that as offensive because who didn't completely geek out at the last episode of The Mandalorian? Who didn't go ape? And that people, I think, were enjoying that moment when, a certain Jedi walks in and just does his thing. And all I heard was just nothing but positive, nothing but wonderful.
Oh, I saw nothing but people tearing up and crying.
Exactly. People are tearing up and crying. There's like, yeah. But I meant, to me, that's kind of...
So happy.
What was it?
Although I really wanted it to be Blue Cone. Sorry.
To me, if you appease the fan service, there was an article from the BBC that came out that said, should fans... Are they entertaining the fans too much? Meaning that they're servicing the fans way too much. I remember that article. I was just like, why wouldn't you? That's fans.
Yeah,
that's what they want. They want
At
more
the
of this.
expense of what? Why is that bad?
Right, exactly. If you want to, if people want a particular something, and I know for classic Star Wars people, they wanted to see the big three together. They wanted to see Han, Luke, and Leia together. That's what they wanted. And if there was some way to write them in, and I'm sure they could have, the three of them just getting together to have that moment with Chewbacca and R2-D2 and all that, I think, what would have been wrong with that, I think is the question. A lot of people were looking for that moment.
I kind of equate the newest run of Jodie and Chibnall being Chibnall specific. I'm being very specific to Chibnall.
Okay.
When he first started out and he came out and said that I'm not doing any classic stuff, when he kind of was like, I'm gonna, do my own thing and all that kind of stuff, and people kind of going, what? Why? Wait, why? And the Star Wars movies, when they were kind of coming out, the directors kind of said the same little thing of, we're gonna do our own thing. And it was just kind of but can't, it's a big sandbox. Can you play and just bring some toys out here and let's have some fun?
Like Marvel does.
Marvel does.
I don't.
And I mean, again,
most of the creatives you see complaining about working with Marvel are people who don't want to play in the sandbox, who want to be able to do whatever they want and don't want to have to listen to the very few mandates that Marvel gives them. And that's fine, but their hands aren't even that tied. You don't even need to do that much to appease fans.
Except when it comes to Dark Phoenix. Just stop. Just stop.
No.
Guys,
one man in particular. Stop. Simon, stop writing the same movie over and over.
We
talk about this on Husbands Talking More or Less when we reviewed the whole Phoenix saga. We reviewed every adaptation and we reviewed the comics. And it's the same person keeps trying to make a Phoenix movie and it's just not working.
And I mean, I'm not the type of person where I'm going to run in there and go, where are the Shi'ar? Where is Coarse Hair? Where are
the broccoli people?
I'm not going to do that. I understand that certain things we're just going to kind of ignore. I mean, Marvel proved that they could do the Infinity War without Adam Warlock.
Without death.
Right? Okay, sorry. We just took this Doctor Who's thing ran with, but I
didn't know you had this.
So
we are a Doctor Who podcast.
But we are a Doctor Who podcast. Okay.
No.
In that same vein, you can be a diehard fan of something. Doctor Who fans can be diehard Doctor Who. Toss balance. Just toss us a bone.
Yeah.
Give me some classic stuff. Give me a callback. I mean, if it happens to be that you walk by again, like with the 50th, where you saw Cole Hill, you're like, oh, let the people flail. Let the people who saw the curator and started weeping uncontrollably, let us have that moment. And then other people kind of go, who is that?
Well, one of the things I'm happy to see about RTD coming back is because he had the decision to say, I'm going to make Christopher Eccleston the first Doctor, or I can make him the 9th Doctor. And he knew right away to get the support to bring Doctor Who back into the new, into this new world, into this new century, he's going to need the help of classic Who.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a Whovian. He's a classic Whovian. When he talks, he's talking about the Daleks, the Cybermen, the Centaurans, and all of that. So he knew that he needed to bring in the mindset. When Chibnall came in and said, I'm just going to not bring any, you didn't understand. Even Moffat brought in the old stuff as well. Where's Bessie? Where's Automobile? Yes.
I'm good. I'm down for that. Bring Bessie. Bring it.
People love stuff like that.
That would be amazing.
The Thanos copter and Loki. People think stuff like that is great. One appearance, and people would lose their minds. That's all it takes.
I just see 13 sitting in her car, putting on goggles and going, "Where we go, we don't need roads." And Bessie just transforms into this rocket.
Yeah.
Fan service works if it serves the story. Otherwise, it can be tokenism. I agree with that. Yes,
I agree with that.
There have been times where
Rogue One really did it well. It's
One
of my favorite Star Wars movies. Honestly.
Yeah, Rogue One was, it's the little gem that is in the rough, and every now and then we hear about it. It's just like, that was a good movie, and that was fan servicing. That was connecting dots too. So, Hollywood scripts, Sonic's the Hedgehog. Fans complain Hedgehog redrawn, and the film was successful. Yes, there's nothing wrong with fan service. There's nothing wrong with coming back. Speaking of which,
customers.
Exactly.
I still think that was a giant work. I still think they were trolling us, knowing that's exactly what the reaction was
getting
because
feedback.
You can't spend that much money to screw up that bad.
I would completely agree with that. They
I
thought
mean,
they were making something good, though.
Yeah,
that's I don't
true.
know why.
But that's like the whole to your original point, Dave. I agree with Deadpool when the animatic leaked because it was going to be a rated R, that high action. I don't think that was a leak. I think that was a strategic. Let's see what fans. And all fans were like, "This is amazing," and I think that was their way of selling it to Marvel. Sony, right?
They knew that the fans were disappointed in what happened in that Wolverine movie to Deadpool. There's a whole scene at the end of Deadpool 2 where he fixes the timeline on that, and it was just the fans wanted that
actual
little
Deadpool
trailer.
A merc with a mouth. Sorry,
exactly. The Deadpool that we saw in that little makeup trailer, and they knew right away what they were doing. And I think it took some time for them to get it online, but when it came out, it was busting records too. Marvel built things organically, and it paid off big time when we had crossovers.
I think a big part of that is that they thankfully have Kevin Feige at the helm, who knows the source material and at least has his finger on the pulse enough to know what fans are good with. Just you going, okay, well, it didn't make it in, we'll be fine, and stuff going. That makes absolutely zero sense.
And I think Davis proved back in the early 2000s that he could be a Feige with everything that he did or tried to do.
Yes, Davis, I think Davis is a Feige.
With such a limited budget, too.
I think he's going to take it to the next level. I think you're going to see a multiverse because he is a big Marvel fan, being that he explained where Agatha Harkness came from, or Jack Harkness came from. It was from Agatha. So to see, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. We can explain anything out there, but let's go ahead and commercial break. When we return, I will give my one wish out there. If anybody's been listening and watching the podcast, you probably know, but hey, I'll tell you when we return. Please continue to stay logged on, tune in, and become part of the legend. Here we go.
You have more options than ever before when choosing a film, a television or internet series, a book to curl up with, or even a radio show or podcast. Get to know the people who are creating for you. The Hangin' With Web Show, hosted by award-winning author and journalist G.W. Pomacher, is the internet's fastest-growing web talk show series. The Hangin' With Web Show features professional, yet casual, in-depth interviews with creative arts and entertainment pros. Meet the people behind a digital revolution in creating more quality content than ever before in the history of media. Find the Hangin' With Web Show on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, or simply go to www.hanginwithshow.com. That's www.hanginwithshow.com.
Author Cindy Koepp is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Koepp at CKOEPP.com today.
Hang on a second, I gotta do solo. Mort, we're ready to play. We're ready to do this. We got it. I know we're in beta testing, but just let me know when you're ready because I definitely want to play this game. And I still have a couple boxes to unpackage, so definitely we want to do that. So Mort, we're ready. We want to play. So there you go. What was
I think that was. It wasn't me.
Okay.
That was totally me. I hit a button and you guys came up. I was watching.
I was like, I heard me.
Yeah, I was trying to turn on. I was watching you guys as I was trying to get set up and get on here, and yeah, I just hit a button and it brought you guys up again. So you were talking.
Three
And I'm
comments.
like,
Three comments quickly, and then Christian.
There needs to be a balance with fan service and not be just a constant. As Andrew posted, it should serve the story and not just the story serves the service. Sarah Jane's return was a perfect example. Yeah.
Yes.
That's not even a question. How can you bring a multiverse to Doctor Who when already multi-dimensional and time show already, for example, New Who, Pete's World? And that was just an example. We really haven't explored. I mean, they did that a few times with Inferno. They did that with E-Space with Romana and Adric, and they had that series. But to go into completely, maybe see even different versions of the Doctor and how maybe we see one version I forgot who it was. I think it was Andrew who mentioned the Valyard. Maybe we can see the inklings of the Valyard. Maybe the Valyard came from a different dimension. Who knows? Or there was one that exists out there. So, but that's going to be up to RTD and the storytellers that he's going to be bringing in. So, fingers crossed that we got that. Doctor Who has been done before, influencing Marvel. Yeah, Marvel. Actually, technically, I mentioned that beforehand. Doctor Who is Marvel. Yep. Marvel actually put out a few comics, and when Jodie took the year off and they were making the Endgame movie, I was like, I'm just putting two together. I'm just speculating. She took a year off, and Endgame's coming out. So, and technically Doctor Who's Marvel. So I'm just putting this little fanfic together. Maybe she ends up in Marvel, but that was only hope for one. Ramona, journey back to Pete's World to visit Rose. 10.2, and they're
yeah.
I'll see it. I'm here for it.
I don't need kids, but the rest of it.
I don't need the kids, but I mean, I'd like to know that some incarnation of the Doctor went off and lived a happily ever after. I think that's kind of bittersweet and nice for at the time that particular Time Lord committed, his own,
stuff.
And we still have to see how Metacrisis Doctor came out.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. Some story. I do agree that there's some stories that just need to come to its fruition. I mean, to its end. And just let it ride. But I mean, if there's good story writing, backing it up, it's no longer, like you said, it's not fan service. It's not there so that we can just put a Dalek in the background to have a Dalek in the background. It's there because it's part of the story and it's something that we want to see. To me, that's fan service, and that's not a bad thing. Everybody, again, thanks for joining us. I've got Kevo, I've got Dave, I've got Melanie. And if you see on the scrolling on the bottom, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are closing into 2,000 subscribers. We are closing in. And not only that, but our Facebook page, join us on the facebook.com, the Traveling TARDIS, 57,000 followers now. Now, all of you have to go to the YouTube channel. I'll be very content. But hey, we are just glad wherever you are here with us out there. So everybody wants to know my wish. I have been wishing it, and every December I've been heartbroken. I want the damn Christmas stories back. Please, RTD, bring it. I don't care if you add other holidays, and I'll give a Chibnall a little bit of a gift. He did a Halloween episode, but anything else about that wasn't Halloween at all. In fact, the only time I've really seen the Halloween was that one episode. It was the woman who fell, and that guy walking around with salad. He's going, "Eat my salad" to Tim Shaw. I'm like, what the hell is all that about? That was the only closest thing there. But definitely, please bring back the Christmas episodes, for crying out loud. If the Lifetime Network can shell out 2 or 3, half decent movies of Christmas, you can get 13 with a Christmas tree out there, and let's just have some fun with it. Because to me and a lot of people, that's what Christmas was truly about. I got to confess, when they were doing the marathon, a lot of it, Merry Humus, Christian. Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, I want the Christmas episode back, and I don't care who you bring in to help with the festivities, but it was just a magical time for me. And even when you had duds for me, like what was it, the Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe, I didn't care. I loved every one of them. The Christmas Invasion, the Christmas Carol, the Husbands of River Song. None of them were duds.
Dr. Mysterio, really?
Dr. Mysterio, yeah, I loved it. At first, when I first saw it, I thought it was when I saw Dr. Mysterio first, I actually gave it a bad review, and then after a while, it grew on me.
It's a good episode, but it's not a Christmas episode.
Yeah.
And that's part of why, like, they were losing their steam on Christmas already by the end. And that's part of why I'm like, I'm with you, though.
I'm with you that they needed Christmas episodes, because I think it also gets the audience already in the time frame of this is going to be like a bottle episode. It's going to be its beginning, middle, and end. We're going to be happy. It's going to be its own, like, this is it. It's not going to be part of an arc or anything like that.
Right. It's just its own thing. But Kevo, I would even say expand the holiday universe. Halloween, you started. I would say that, like, things like Hyde and I'm trying to think. Sorry, the Weeping Angels episode.
All I can think of Halloween is I think like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. They have
those could have been Halloween episodes too. Yeah.
The Witch Hunters one from
the Witch Hunters
Series 11.
Exactly. You can toss some scary episodes and introduce Halloween in there, and
for Doctor Who especially.
I don't care. Voyage of the Damned, Christmas. Oh, thank you. Voyage of the Damned, Christmas Carol, Husbands of River Song, Twice Upon a Time, Happy Memories. Yeah, I got to confess, when I was watching, when they had the Doctor Who marathon, I barely recorded anything Jodie. I recorded every single Christmas episode, and so I'm going to binge watch it. It's not that I didn't want, but I've already seen the Jodie stuff. But it means something around that time of year for me to watch those episodes again. And they were, to me, that's Christmas in my universe. So bring the Christmas episodes back. Add New Year's if you want. Add Halloween. It's a must. Add I don't care. Thanksgiving, make it up. I don't care. Because I'm just like, it doesn't even matter. Easter, we had one Easter.
Yeah.
Even though he mentions it in the time. Yeah, it's the Planet of the Dead.
Oh,
he gets on the bus and he's holding the chocolate and he goes, Happy Easter. But that was an Easter episode. Even though that was just the only mention of Easter. But
like Mysterio.
Like Mysterio there. Speaking of Mysterio, folks, for those of you who are listening onto the audio, thank you for joining us. We're going to come to an end here. For those of you listening to sci-fi.radio, we're just ending the audio, but you're more than welcome to come over to either the Facebook page or the YouTube channel or our Twitch channel to watch. They are eating chocolate Easter eggs to continue the adventures, to watch extended clips, and definitely sign up for our YouTube channel because we have exclusive stuff on there, including bits of the TARDIS. I'll be starting to do one-on-ones as soon as some of the podcasters get back with me. Also, we are going to Simon Fisher-Becker does special episodes just for us. Simon says, yes.
Yay.
So things that you can only get on the YouTube channel, and you just subscribe and sign up for free, or just check us out. But right now we are going to say goodbye to our friends listening to the audio. We will continue in the after party. Everybody, again, please stay safe. Welcome to the first day of February, the Chinese New Year. That's guys, just stay out there. Please be safe, and don't forget, we should be going out to MegaCon this May. I don't have the dates. Sorry,
May 19th through the 22nd.
Got it.
There you go.
I've
already got that.
That's what
Sci-Fi Bartow might be the next one we might be at.
You'll be out there. I don't know about.
I will be at Sci-Fi Bartow, but not as a vendor. I did not get vendor space this time, so I will be out there cosplaying.
Oh, she's gonna be having a good time out there.
Yes,
exciting.
Okay, we'll talk more about that in the after party.
Yep, and guess what? We're going to be going over 2 special birthdays in our after party that we will be celebrating, and one of them has something to do with this. And I'll explain why when we get back. Thank you, folks, for joining us. For those of you watching, stay tuned. We're going to go right into our after party. Stand by. Okay.
But quickly, we must all take a moment to shame Dave because Dave's leaving.
I'm sorry. Today has been
a day.
No,
day.
we understand.
So
We still love you, but shame.
Yes, but shame.
Mm.
Shame.
I accept the shame.
Who can
It's
shame
weird
you like
when I
him?
see her and Ted Lasso. It still throws me off. Sorry.
Goodbye, all. Thank you for having me out again.
After the show, make sure you check out the rathole.ca.
Sorry. There you go.
All of my social media, my YouTube channel, everything at the linktree, linktr.ee/therathole.ca.
And he's on YouTube as well, for sure.
Bye, all.
Mark, that's a hashtag. Bring it up there. So, yes, we want to give a special birthday wish, and she got to actually hold the TARDIS. This is Lisa Bowerman. Okay. I just wanted to know where Melanie went. She just went to do a biological. So there. Lisa Bowerman. For those of you who are not... I'm sorry. I kind of got it when you went, So, Lisa Bowerman, for those of you who may not be familiar with her line of work, she does a lot of Big Finish, but she was a character in the last episode of the Classic Who series. I'm going to look it up in just a second there, but she was a character in the episode Survival, which would ultimately be the last televised episode of the 7th Doctor before he became the 8th Doctor in the TV movie. But Lisa here, she turns 60, and she's lovely, and there she is with the Traveling TARDIS. But I could not... I couldn't pass it up. Well, first of all, let me show you, gang. Hang on a second. Let me get rid of Lisa. Let me inflate here because we are celebrating one more birthday. And I went to Orlando Toy Convention, and I feel bad because there were 12 vendors with hundreds. I'm talking about hundreds and hundreds of Funko Pops. Only 5 Funko Pops existed for Doctor Who. 5. That was it. Out of these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
That's because they were already sold.
For the most part, but some of them, one of them was Tim Shaw.
Well, maybe
not. And it was
that's why he was there.
And the guy who I went up there and said, "You got Tim Shaw?" He goes, "Well, we got this at a special deal. The boss is trying to get rid of it, quote unquote." I'm like, oh my god! So happy birthday to Liz Sladen there. Sarah Jane Smith, I got that this weekend. I've been looking for this forever. And the one time I actually found this at a convention, it was the only one by itself. It was the only Doctor Who. They were like, I think it was Spooky Empire. And they had 5 vendors that were selling it, but they were selling her, and it was like $45. And I was like, I don't have the money for her. And I was just like, I really, really wanted her. And then I went to a convention, $12. So it was worth the wait. No, there's no price to what she's done for, been in my life and my history. But yeah, it's nice to have a little deal right there. So happy birthday, Elizabeth Sladen. Everybody's going to miss you. You are more than you made the Whoniverse for me.
What's that in her hand?
What's that?
In her hand?
No, I think it has something to do with the episode.
There's a little dot in her hand, and I'm not familiar with which episode that is.
The Hand of Fear. It was her last episode that she wore the what they called the I think they called it the candy cane outfit. But there is
little hand
look it up. If anybody in the chats know what that little thing is in her hand, I know it has something to do with the story. Yeah, exactly. So everybody, give a shout out. Give a shout out in the chats if you know what that little thing is in her hand. Just remind me. It's been a while since I saw that episode. So, and give happy birthday shout outs. And I just want to make everyone aware that one of our episodes that we did recently was with Sadie Miller. She is the daughter of Liz Sladen, and she is now doing the voice of her mother's character, Sarah Jane Smith, in the Big Finish Adventures with the 3rd Doctor, and she sounds absolutely amazing. Aldred's Ring, thank you. Thank you, Liz. Thank you. The Hand of Eldred. Close enough, but it is Aldred's Ring. Yeah, shame on. Like I said, it's been a long time. I need to go back and watch it out there.
How dare you?
I found out.
I had no clue. I flat out didn't know what to Google.
I checked it out, and I haven't done it yet, but I think now I can add if you're willing to pay for it, Roku has Doctor Who Classic and New. I got to check it out.
Okay.
The Ring of Eldra. Thank you, Ramona. Yeah, it's they have both. I don't know
I
what.
still have all the VHS tapes just kind of hanging out here, but I think that was just I don't have the VCR.
I don't know, Kevo. I don't know what it is, but sometimes I like turning on the TV and there's Who run. I don't know what that is. But as you know, I can't put the DVD in. I gotta watch it when it's live and running and commercials and all that. I don't understand that.
Our brains are wired differently than Gen Z, who grew up on like streaming and stuff. We're used to like syndication and stuff like that. Like there were a few years in the mid 2010s where I was watching movie channels again. And like Moulin Rouge would come on at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and then again 2 days later at 5 p.m. and I'd catch a little bit of both. And like that's how we used to watch movies in the early 2000s on HBO. Like it's just what we enjoyed.
And it's not only that, the movie or the show will be 3/4 done, but I have to watch it to the end. Don't care. Exactly. Don't care. I don't know why. I might even have the DVD. I could just put the DVD on. I could watch the whole episode commercial free. I'm like, no, this is the way I have to watch it.
I used to love catching the end of a movie on the East version of a channel and then the beginning of it on the West version of a channel in the late 2010s when they had those on the cable channels.
Good.
Yeah,
I remember those. Oh my God. It's been so long.
I just remember never being able to watch anything live when it was going to be on with a whole little must-see TV or appointment viewing televisions. Like I could never do that. That's what VCRs were for. And that's what learning how to program your VCR to record on the right time. And then you find out that somebody unplugged it or forgot to put in the wrong tape.
Or watch TV on that TV.
Or tape over something that you haven't watched yet.
And some of those shows haven't gone to DVD or streaming, so you've just never seen it.
No.
Kids don't understand. They really don't.
You don't understand. You don't understand the dilemmas we had. Problems.
This cusp between TV you just never saw it again, and you were fine with it.
Right.
And then DVD and streaming. There was this narrow window, thanks to Mr. Rogers, where we had VHS, and we could record things off of television. And like... I helped keep the blank tape industry.
Yes. Also thinking, I'm going to save this for posterity and I'm going to take the little area here and snap it out so no one can ever record anything on top of this. But then, no, that's when you find out your sister knows what tape is and tapes over that little piece. Yeah, sorry guys. We're really deep cutting right
Andrew,
now.
I think every episode that has been as far as the availability from all the way, I'm 90% sure. I was just thumbing around and there was an ad somewhere that I caught that said Doctor Who was now on Roku, and I was like, okay, that was interesting. And I did the search for Doctor Who, and then I found the classic Who, and then I said, wait a minute, is that current Who? And yeah, it's everything from Eccleston all the way up to Jodie, as far as I know. Now, if anybody wants to look this up real fast, I could swear we did a Roku search. I find it so weird watching Doctor Who with commercials. No, I don't. That's the thing, Mark. I don't.
I hate it.
I'll admit that sometimes I like watching like the old somebody had recorded it they recorded it, so they're now uploaded to YouTube, and now you're seeing specific commercials, whether or not they were in your area or not. And I have to admit that's actually pretty kind of sweet. I kind of like that.
I don't know if I've ever told this story, but a friend of mine, I don't know if you remember back, I think this was around the 90s, the big three channels, ABC, NBC, CBS, all three of them decided to come out with their own version of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. One of them had Michael Caine one of them had Ben Cross as Captain Nemo. Michael Caine was Captain Nemo. I forgot the third one, but they all had it. And a friend of mine recorded it and put it on a VHS tape so I could watch it. And I think it was the Michael Caine version, which actually I feel bad because I liked Michael Caine, but his version was it really got weird.
He's done stuff.
Yeah, well, you could tell it's just like, I came here, because I needed a new pool. that was all. Well, that was what he said about Jaws: The Revenge. He said that I think they flew him out to wherever it was. He goes, no, I didn't really do this for, they were asking about the movie. He goes, really, I did this so I could go to the Bahamas.
It's a job sometimes, as much as it's art.
Exactly. But I watched the whole movie to the very end, and at the very end of the movie, this little show in the middle came in out of nowhere. And for years, I could not find this show. It was the episode called Crichton. And it was some of the funniest British humor I had ever seen in my entire life. And it was the moment where the people leave the Red Dwarf, the crew of the Red Dwarf, go over to find the ship full of dead women. And they find the robot over there. And that's how I started Red Dwarf. I didn't even know what the title was because he had recorded over the TV show. So all I saw was this broken up episode of Crichton. And then later on, I found it like years later, and I became a big fan of the show. But I just thought it was funny. We were talking about VHS tapes. If it wasn't for that one VHS tape that my friend recorded and then recorded over the show, I would not even be a dwarfer, what they call it now, for Red Dwarf. So exactly, Andrew. But those VHS tapes were really magical at times. Especially, it's like a potluck. It's like, oh, okay, you could have this one movie, but somebody recorded over this thing. Now you can see this half movie or the half, before the commercial break. And I was just like, yeah, that was my viewing pleasure.
A VHS with like 2 movies, 3 episodes of one show and 2 episodes of another. And like,
exactly.
Totally random.
Right.
Like,
but you know what? It was potluck. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was the stuff you wanted to watch all together on one tape. Red Dwarf Doctor Who crossover had been rumored for years. I could have sworn they did something, or at least they were alluding to something. I know there was a mention of Doctor Who and Red Dwarf somewhere along the way. Well, I learned of Red Dwarf from the Guardians of Gallifrey. Oh wow, okay, gotcha, Tom. Yeah, I didn't know about Red Dwarf. I found that out completely on my own. And the guy who actually on the tape didn't know you remember what he recorded. I'm like, you're kidding me, right? So that didn't help out there, but I learned of Red Dwarf from the Guardians of Gallifrey. So yeah, it's stupid. But also BBC America, for those of you who are overseas, because they have the commercials over here. And this is where it gets weird, Kevo, because when I DVR and watch it live, I actually wait like 5 minutes before I actually watch the show, so I can actually fast forward through the commercials.
But then you don't like commercials.
I don't. I can't explain this. I can't. I'll wait until the show starts, like within 10 minutes, then start watching the show. And as soon as I get to the show, I fast forward through the commercials.
My problem is just that it's not written that way. We're making our way through Stargate SG-1 because I've never watched all of it. My husband has, I haven't. And we're on season almost 4. And it originally aired on Showtime with no commercials, but Netflix has the syndicated versions with commercials cut in. Right. So every now and then, in the middle of a scene, it'll just cut to black for a second and a half, and then go right back. And it's not organic the way that like a normal commercial break is like a dramatic beat and it fades to black. It just cuts because that's what they did to chop it up to show the Showtime episodes on Sci-Fi. And that's how I feel about Doctor Who episodes with commercials. Sometimes it does work and like they finesse it, but the only time I've watched it on BBC America, it felt very choppy to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's just not.
But it's meant for an audience who don't have commercial breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and Melanie, correct me if I'm wrong. We found out later in some cases we were losing pieces of episodes because they had to fill the commercial break in.
Yeah.
So they would cut certain segments of the show. So like if you watched it, and my friend actually had access to some episodes so I could see straight.
Yeah, you muffled yourself too much. We went past comedy to
I know. And maybe I meant to do that, but let's just say I was able to access the BBC version, the non-commercial version, and then I would watch the BBC version, and I was like, wait a minute, where's that scene? It would be gone. I was just like, wait a minute, this was actually paramount to what we're doing right now, to what we're viewing. So, oh yeah, Mark, thank you. There you go. Mark sent me that. Sorry, Kevo. Let me get you out there.
Childhood's End.
I can't say it to save my life. I'm sorry.
He can't put that S at the end of hoods.
I can't. It doesn't belong.
It's always child's hood.
At childhood's end.
Childhood. Childhood's
end.
Just say at childhood send.
End.
At childhood send.
Just do that, and then go at childhood send. There you go. You're done.
Talk about Red
Phonetic
Dwarf.
classes
Mac
with Melanie.
McDonald will be as LFCC this spring.
Sorry.
Okay. No, that's fine. Yeah, if you know, I can't think. He's Captain something in Red Dwarf, and he was the guy that was giving Lister and Rimmer a hard time. Captain Hollister. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Captain Hollister. Wow, he's still around. And I actually caught Mac McDonald. He has a very, very small scene. I think he's one of the cops in The Fifth Element. He only shows up for like a second there. Oh, Janine, happy birthday! Yeah, to both Lisa Bowerman and Elizabeth Sladen there. So happy birthday!
Take the picture off so we can see Kevo.
I'm sorry, hang on. I didn't move him back.
Good Lord, thank you.
There you go. You got access too.
I'm doing the comments.
Okay, I was very surprised.
There's that. We got Facebook and YouTube going. So
Archie, Edith.
When so many films get extended TV cuts like Terminator, Aliens, yeah, I don't know. It's because they're trying to fit within a time frame. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, the commercials in and everything, you could probably almost have like a 90-minute episode with like Christopher Eccleston. But that's adding all the commercials they were doing in there. And you know what? I was actually kind of happy when I first saw the very first commercials, because like, oh wow, Lincoln is sponsoring Doctor Who. Oh wow, AT&T is sponsoring Doctor Who. There's actually money here. Mm-hmm. There's actually money that is going to.
It's
this
not
show.
your local Honda dealership.
Exactly. Yeah. It's actually okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, if you think about an hour for traditionally, and I said that years ago, for episodic television in the United States, an hour-long episode was only 42-minute runtime. Mm-hmm. Typically, and that your 30-minute runtime was actually 22 minutes. So if you had, and that's with your commercial breaks. So if you're getting something porting over from the UK that's 30 minutes, you're losing 8 minutes, maybe 7, maybe 6 if they're trying to really figure it out. Because I mean, for again the US, if you've only got 42 minutes to run with, what you would normally see, and I don't know if this is something that you would see over in the UK in the chats, please let me know. If we needed an episode where the writers or editors and directors, what have you, decided, look, we need every minute we can get to tell our story. We can't just do it in 42. We need 43, 44. They have 2 versions of the opening credits. So the opening sequence, you could tell, oh, we're going to get a really long episode because you started learning what the short one was and what the long one was. Or what the theme song is like really quick. You're like, oh, we're getting a longer episode. I don't know if that's a thing over there.
And if you remember, they had Karen Gillan do a little clip where she explains Doctor Who.
Right.
For BBC America.
Yes.
They did that so that people
Firefly on Sci-Fi.
Well, to me, and I think if it's any show, just like for our episodes that we do over here, one of the things that I try to impress when people come onto a show, we have to believe that this is the first time somebody's watching our episodes. Because unlike Miracle Day, yes, I'm bringing that in here, Torchwood Miracle Day, I felt like if you came in at a middle point, you were completely lost. If you were watching like original Torchwood, the first series, if you came in like the 3rd episode, you still felt like you knew what was going on. Mm-hmm. But Miracle Day, I was like, you know what? If anybody came in, and if you watch the ratings for Miracle Day, they continued to go down after the 1st episode. I mean, to the point where it just went into it.
I still haven't seen it, and
I only read about it, and I'm already exhausted and mad for losing that time.
I just keep hearing them like, it's better to live in the dark, and I'm like, okay.
I'm pulling up this note for David because I do agree. Best character in The Fifth Element, that lazy TV watching cat. That cat was hypnotic. His eyes were like, I love that cat. Yes, I adore that cat. I think, Andrew, sometimes do that here, but on commercial TV, only the BBC doesn't have ads on the main broadcasters.
Okay. the truncating the opening credits, the opening theme song, as you would.
Let me put it this
Main
way.
title?
Just a weird question for the both of you. If, let's say, you had to pay for BBC, let's say BBC America says, you know what? You pay for our app, $6.99 a month. Good news is, if you watch Doctor Who, there are no commercials. Would you do it?
Okay. All things being equal, I would say, I have to figure out what other programming is going on. It's got to be more than Doctor Who.
Yeah,
because right now I'm like, it's like Paramount Plus. I'm like, I'm not gonna buy Paramount Plus just for one show. Then I see the Halo trailer. I'm like, well, but we are now in the world of there's so much streaming services, so many streaming services, and my cable and internet bills are already at $180. If I had my way, I'd cut that cable real quick and just live off streaming and be a happy little clam. But my husband says otherwise. So, and I respect him for that because I do like the Smithsonian Network. That's actually really, really, I like Aerial America and I like History Channel.
That's the thing.
So I haven't done it yet. But if BBC America wants to package themselves with other shows that I haven't cut cable yet and, make me an offer I can't refuse, yeah, maybe. But
that was the thing when we were growing up, or at least when I was growing up, when they just had the cassette tapes and the vinyl records, it was like you would buy the one song, but like a cassette tape, you had to buy the entire album.
No, you bought the singles, and then you had the B-side.
I didn't have you could do. Yeah, you could do that, but for the cassettes, it was just like, well, I want this one song, and then you would have to buy the whole cassette, and it's just like, I hate the rest of this music.
then you sat there in front of your radio waiting until you just every end of every song you hit that record button. It was two buttons. You had to hit play record at the same time.
Everything about
that, and then you realize, oh, it's not the song. Then you stopped, or you hit record when it's
the DJ's talking over this. God damn it!
Exactly. Thank you, Kevo. Exactly. Right when your music starts, like within 10 seconds, they've ruined your song because they got to remind me that they're going to have
1.1.
Exactly.
And we're going to keep talking over the intro music because I know exactly when the lyrics kick in. So we're just going to keep talking about the weather and make some zany little pun. And here we go.
Vamping over the introduction.
Exactly. And then we would go like, if you hear this song again, we never played the same song twice. So if you hear this song again, you're going to win $100 if you're the 10th caller. And they got to remind me to do that. And I'm like, I'll never hear this song again. Thank you. And I like change the channel.
And now it just lives in my head.
Isn't that right?
Oh my God, Andrew.
But I had singles cassettes. That's how I got Joyride by Roxanne.
Depends on the artist.
Well, they did have single vinyls, but you're always like debating.
Vinyls, no.
Yeah, they were like the single vinyls, but if you like, do I want just the one song or do I want all the songs? So it's like, I'll get all the songs and like, oh God, all this is crap. I understand why this song is popular.
But that's been a thing that's still even today, where if you bought an entire album, there's strong albums out there that you're just like, wow, every song on here is a banger, and then other ones where you're like, this album is complete crap.
Listen to a whole album before committing to purchase now with stuff like YouTube. Do y'all remember back the advent in Barnes and Noble when they added the headphones in the music area?
Yes.
So you could listen to brief samples of songs from the album. And I think that's the point Christian is making, that like you didn't know what was on the rest of this album.
Exactly.
And, some artists are bangers, some are not.
I remember when Virgin Megastore came into downtown Disney and that you could actually listen to the full album with the headset, but you had to fight people because there was not a lot of those headsets and stations around.
And this is like Florida weather, so you're like picking up the headphones and going like, this is
damp.
Let me tell you, don't they clean this before?
No, you always had a whole
turn it all the way up.
I do too. I have my mother was a connoisseur, Janine, of Disney VHS tape movies, and I somehow or another ended up with all of them because she doesn't have room in her house. So with one VHS player that I've got still left from like the Stone Age, I have Disney movies that I watch on DVD anyway. So I'm just like, well, that's pointless.
I think my best VHS story is the fact that I would never have gotten into Fraggle Rock if I had not had a VHS tape of, and I just counted this week and realized it was 13 whole episodes on one VHS tape.
Wow.
That my dad recorded off of TNT of all channels, because they had this syndicated block called Wild World of Shorts, where they played like old Looney Tunes, and they had Fraggle Rock for a couple of years. And my dad recorded 13 episodes, and like I had this, basically I never realized, full season's worth of Fraggle Rock to grow up on, even though it ended like the year I was born. And then this past month, for the first time in over 30 years, they released 13 new episodes of Fraggle Rock. And like, it's been such an amazing thing, and I would never have known this show as a kid because of the way television worked and the way syndication worked. Nowhere else was showing this when I got to a certain age. So it's just crazy the things that we were able to see because we were able to randomly catch it and think to keep it for posterity.
I hate that. This is one of the things I'm actually appreciative of YouTube, is just like randomly I will get a suggestion on YouTube going like, do you remember the Great Space Coaster?
Yeah.
Do you remember Math Patrol, Christian? I'm like, are you kidding me? And I will sit there for maybe the next hour going like, oh, I got to listen to the Math Patrol theme because I hadn't heard it in like forever, or the Great Space Coaster because that brought in Gary Gnu and all those characters. I'm just like, why doesn't anybody talk about these people anymore? Fraggle Rock, you know, you wouldn't have seen Fraggle Rock if it wasn't out for a VHS tape. So I consider that a diamond in the rough, really. There,
I had American, so I had original doc.
Oh.
But like international versions had different human characters during the human sequence.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, because I remember watching it on HBO, because for some reason I remember we had HBO growing up. Well, here and there, I think when because my dad used to be really into watching boxing, and then once it happened, then we would have it in different waves, or like when it was free. But yeah, I remember watching it there.
If you really think and look at like early children's television and really think about it, the fact that Fraggle Rock aired on HBO in the early 80s is genuinely insane. Nickelodeon didn't really even exist yet until several years after Fraggle Rock ended. So like, it was a pioneer of a genre of television that literally didn't exist.
Oh, Tom.
A lot of these shows are just like,
oh, now I've got the music in my head.
There you go.
Gary Gnu and that drawing, which I always thought was comical, the drawing of the chalk drawing of the man walking. If I find the videos, I will send it to you guys. But
HBO is completely different now. Back then, it was just home box office. It was not really adulty. That was Cinemax.
It was a kids thing. In fact,
you had more variety.
2 movies I'm going to say that we're playing over and over for Christmas. Rich Little's Christmas Carol, which was basically him doing all of his impressions for the other characters, and before Fraggle Rock,
Emmett Otter's
Junk Bag Christmas.
Yes.
That was started off. And I got the video. I didn't care how much I spent for it because it had the outtakes and everything. Yes, there were outtakes on Emmett Otter's.
Of course, it's
Muppets. Of course there was.
The drum scene where it kept rolling out of the story. Yeah, apparently there were 100 takes for that because they couldn't get it right. But but Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, I think I wish kids today could watch that because that was just fun. That was me growing up, and it had beautiful
I don't know where that is.
Had a beautiful story about family. It's just. I
know we recorded it, so it was on a tape somewhere.
It is. Hey, how you doing? One of my most treasured memories is watching all the Rankin Bass Christmas specials on a VHS tape. My parents recorded them all. Nostalgia. And you know what I recently got was we went into a Christmas discussion.
Oh yeah, we're no longer even near
exactly
RTD wishes.
Well, we're talking about Christmas for you, so there you go.
Yeah, there we go.
I got
there we go.
The value of Christmas.
The best Christmas TV show episode I've ever seen in my entire life. Blackadder's Christmas Carol.
Never seen it.
It's a one-off. If you don't know anything about Blackadder.
Okay.
You can still watch Blackadder Christmas Carol. Can I give you a little bit of the impression?
You can.
floor.
Just imagine if Scrooge started off good.
Ooh.
Okay.
And the ghost changed him. That's the whole premise of it. It's basically Scrooge is good at the beginning and ends up where he shouldn't be at the very end because, oops, the ghost accidentally showed him a few things about his future, and he's going like, "Why would I want to be good?" So, but it was just classic, and it was wonderful, and it's Rowan Atkins at his best out there. But if you ever get a chance, go see it. If BBCA and BritBox combined iPlayer, that would give you a huge amount of great TV with no ads or a subscription. Yeah, that's right, Tom. I'm jumping to the next thing.
Do either of them have Father Brown?
Nicola Bryant was in Blackadder's Christmas Carol, and if you thought her American accent was a little bit off, you should hear her scream in Blackadder's Christmas Carol. It was obnoxious, but it's great for the character, and it was just like, oh my god, this is awful. But I loved her in it.
Yeah, I now revisit my would I buy BBC America if maybe all of Father Brown was on there. It's I don't know why, but I really love the hell out of that show. Miracle.
Well, we've come to the end of the show. We ran up to 9 minutes. So, anybody have any last minute things before we go?
Let's
Miracle Day was mind blowing. Janine, in a good or a bad way for you? Well, there was so much potential. You've seen it, right, Kevo?
Yeah, I know. I read a summary.
You read about it. There was so much potential, and you could tell Russell T Davies ran around to every convention, grabbing anybody he could that had to deal with other sci-fi genres. So, Bernie Hudson is in it. Q is in it. The Major from Deep Space Nine is in it. He just went around and started grabbing like celebrities and throwing it into this series. I was like, Bernie Hudson is in this? But they only have like cameos. They just show up for just a few moments and add something to it. And I could see what he was going for, but I think it was too much. I think he should have had a better story. And plus, people criticized it because it doesn't work in the Doctor Who timeline, which is one of the things that Russell T Davies was pushing for, that he said that Torchwood and Doctor could coexist together. Miracle Day could not. There is no way Miracle Day could fit into it without the Doctor knowing even about that, because it's influencing the entire planet. So get RTD on here if you don't know.
All right, let's try it.
Yeah, of course. I'll get him right away. I'm sure he's not busy at the moment.
I really want to know, if you ever read about Miracle Day, what your reaction is going to be, because if you really don't know anything about it, I'm fascinated to know how you will react.
It's not good. I think
I knew that too, and then I know read
it's
it.
Not, okay, so I know it's not good, and I know it's. I know for a while I did. I don't know if I purposely just forgot or just everything that I kept hearing about was just so outlandish, because I would tell people, "Hey, give me spoilers. I don't care. I'm not going to watch it because I just heard it so bad." And my Swiss cheese brain is just not. It blocked it out and just went, "That's stupid." And
it's one.
I need some other knowledge in there instead.
It's one of those. I think you should watch it once and just say you did it. And then when people talk about it, you know exactly what they're talking about. I would give it.
Will I start having strong opinions where I'll start ranting and raving like when someone mentions X-Men 3?
Yes. If you want me to give you one spoiler, Jack finds a new love. And I was sitting there screaming at my TV going, how dare you do that to Ianto? I was screaming. I'm like, are you kidding me? You like... Because
I think that's probably something I remember hearing and going, what?
Because the Children of Earth, that was a beautifully strong written scene that was done so well between Garrett and Jack. And I don't know of anybody who would, if you didn't see that scene between Garrett and Jack when they both die, Ianto and Jack.
Spoilers, y'all.
Sorry.
15-year-old.
Well, yeah, it's been 15 years. Come on. So... but when I saw that Jack moved on, I was like, oh, no. I was like, I'm missing
mean, people do move on. I mean, that's
yeah.
People do want to still be loved. I mean, it's
I know.
I
don't know why I just couldn't do it. But there was somebody who I interviewed on the show. Her name is Arlene Chor. I'm trying to find out who she played she played Dr. Vera Juarez, and she was just a strong character. And I thought she was a brilliant addition to the show, and I thought she was going to be taking it over. Yeah, Ramona Don Baker's in Blackadder as well. And spoilers, they killed her off in the most unceremonious way. I understood why they did it, but I'm like, you bring on this character, you make us like her. She's very respectable. She really takes it to the next level, and she would have been a great asset to, like, for a better term, the American side of Torchwood. And then you knock her off.
A lot of weird plot choices.
Exactly. I'm just like, why would you do that?
Okay, so who wrote that?
I think
that specific episode, or
yeah.
I think it's all RTD.
Sometimes not, because how many episodes was Miracle Day? It was more than Children.
It was
of Earth. I think it was like 8 at least.
8, yeah. Yeah, I've got the New World Torchwood, written by Russell T. Davies.
And I know Russell; he wouldn't take credit for all 8 scripts.
I'm sure there were like other writers, but I'm sure he was like, it's like Moffat. He's like,
yeah, no matter what,
Moffat writes everything, but there's always a second.
Fine, I guess I'm going to be watching this. I don't know when.
It's
on the okay. I'll someday.
Don't change your schedule to watch it.
Yeah,
it is long, but if it's convenient, go watch it. Just say it, but just remember, like, you're going to be going in at the very end. You're going to like, what the hell did I just?
So maybe this is one of those things I can have on in the background while I'm doing something else, so that way I don't get angry at myself for losing time.
Yes, be doing something else.
I can't get that back.
Make a cake, anything to just go. Okay, this is not
cosplay to work on.
Yeah, or
make
whatever.
A cake and then smash it because you're so mad.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, well, guys, we got to wrap it up over there. We're going on to the hour. What was it saying?
An hour and 40 minutes. We're not even talking. Well, we are talking, Doctor.
We are talking. We're talking with everybody who wants to talk with us. But yeah, we got to end the episode because reasons. So everybody, thank you for joining us. We're going to go ahead and end the broadcast. Anybody got anything last minute to say before I put the show to rest?
No. Sci-Fi Bartow, February 17th. So we'll still have episodes before then. I've been more on my Instagram lately, so that's the same thing here, Pieces of Melee. Yep. So I'm learning more about stories and stuff. So check me out there, and I'm going to try showing more of my cosplaying stuff on my Instagram, and I'm going to get back into painting. So there's that.
And don't forget Kevo. He's on the Instagram too at Kevo Really. And you can also check out his podcast, Husbands Talking More or Less. Please subscribe and let them know the Traveling TARDIS has sent you. Thank you all, folks, for another wonderful episode. I have no idea what we're doing next week. I'm waiting for certain people to show up and tell me, because I don't want to plan the next week episode and they're like, oh yeah, we're available. I'm like, okay, we'll do it.
It's a mystery.
It is a mystery. So everybody, thank you for joining us. Please stay safe out there, and always please continue to become part of the legend. Good night, everybody. Stay safe.